What's going on, family? Appreciate you for clicking on the video. Had a few minutes to record something today, so I figured I would do a follow-up to my last video. The title of the last video that I'm going to follow up now is the tax slash income issue that entrepreneurs create for themselves. Under that video, there was a lot of good comments that I want to address. I'm always pressed for time, so instead of addressing those comments um, in the comments, I figured I'd just come on and address those comments in this video. So let me just get right to it. I don't really have a whole lot of time. If you are here, I'm doing this live, but if you guys are here in the chat, feel free to drop in and say hello or to give me a like. But I'm gonna get right into this content right here. Again, I want to go over these some of these comments that I got on my last video that I did, the tax slash income issues that entrepreneurs create for themselves. So I'm just going to run down a lot of these comments, and I'm going over this because there's a few of these comments that I don't quite understand. So maybe the people that left these comments will see this video and be able to give me a little bit more insight into what they're saying. So let's get right into it. Donald Ducks, if you guys want to follow along, you could just go right to that video and you'll see the comments that I'm reading. They are from my last video. But Donald Ducks comments, banks understand what your situation is. So real quick, let me just recap for anybody that's here the first time. I did a video, the last video I did, the tax slash income issues that entrepreneurs and owner operators create for themselves. So I was letting you guys know in that video that I'm looking to buy a house next year. And just to keep a long story short, for the last few years, just like most entrepreneurs, I normally take as many write-offs as I can. And basically, I'm trying to keep this short, okay? Basically, the problem that I'm having is I don't want to write off, I don't want to continue to write off so much of my income that it disqualifies me from getting the house for getting approved for the house that I want to be able to get. Okay. And that is a problem that a lot of entrepreneurs has. I was talking to an entrepreneur about that the other day, and he's not a truck driver. He does something totally different. As soon as I rolled off to him the issue with what entrepreneurs do, like we all do the same thing. We take as many write-offs as we can. We get our taxable income down as low as we can. Sometimes we get it down low enough where we actually don't owe any taxes or maybe even get a refund. But when you do that and you show back up to the finance company or to the mortgage company, it can cause a problem. JC says, hey buddy, I'm going to school next week. Should I train on automatic or manual? JC, if you're still here, once I finish discussing the subject that I'm going to discuss right now, I will address your question. But I want to do this follow-up video real quick, addressing what I was talking about in that video. So anyway, I spoke about that in the initial video, the tax slash income issues that entrepreneurs create for themselves, how we write off so much that it makes it hard for us to get financed for something in some cases. Well, I got a few comments under that video. I got a lot of comments under that video, but some of the comments I'm a little bit unclear about. I'm not really sure. So in this video, that's essentially what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over these comments. I'm going to, and hopefully the people that left these comments are either here in the live, on here with me live, or they will go back and see this live stream and they'll be able to leave comments on what I'm going to say about their comments, because again, some of this stuff I'm not really clear about. Okay, so let's just get right into it. I don't want to stretch this out too long because I don't have much time today actually. But here we go. Let me reopen this page here. How you guys feeling today? How's everybody doing? All right, let's start with Donald Duck's comment. Donald Duck says, banks understand what your situation is. Main thing at the end of the day, what is your credit score? What is your down payment? My bank just went off my credit score. They said they would finance anything I wanted. Just how much could I stand to pay each month? I chose a $65,000 house with $10,000 down and a $400 a month payment. We'll have it paid off in 3 years. I pay extra at the end of each year from what I can save. Usually it's around 15 to 18K a year. So Donald Duck is basically saying that he seems to be telling me here that his bank they went off to for him to buy a house, and I'm guessing he's an entrepreneur. His bank went off of his credit score and what his down payment was. That's all they cared about. Now, in Donald Duck's situation, what I kind of get what he's saying. The house that Donald Duck was trying to get approved for was a $65,000 house. I would think that even with income as an entrepreneur that is so low that you don't owe taxes, you can probably still get approved for a $65,000 house. That's what my logic would tell me based on what I understand. My thing is, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the house that I need when I go to buy a house next year for $65,000. I'm thinking it's probably gonna cost somewhere around $200,000 to $300,000 in the market that I am in the country. I'm in Virginia, but I'm thinking that's probably what I'm gonna be looking at, spending. And so, I would need to show up to the table with some income. If getting approved for a house as a business owner works like I think it works, which is they go off of your taxable income. Again, the reason I'm going through this video right now is some people are leading me to believe that they don't always go on your taxable income. Okay, so I understand Donald Duck's comment. Let's go on to Rob and JoJo. Rob and JoJo says you can lower your taxes with an S corp and pay yourself dividends, as well as put money in your IRA and your HSA, your health services account, your HSA, which will look good in underwriting. So I'm a little bit unclear on that as well, as far as lowering my taxes with an S corp. I know that I understand how the taxes are done on an S corp. 7.5% of the employee, which would be me, taxes are going to come out on the employee side, and the other half of that is going to come out on my business side. But I'm a little bit unclear. I haven't run the numbers on that yet to be able to see, based on the income that I plan on reporting, whether I'm going to come out better filing my taxes as a sole proprietor, or whether I'm going to come out better filing my taxes as an S corp. I have heard people say before that if it can cost you more to file your taxes as an S corp. It can cost you more in taxes as an S corp. It just depends on how you do it. So I don't want to do that the wrong way. And I do know that it's not just as cut and dry as just file your taxes through an S corp and it'll automatically cut your tax bill down. Again, if anybody has information on that, feel free to drop it in the chat, or if you're watching this video on replay, let me know about that down in the comments. Icy Profit says you could start a new LLC and buy a rental property in the LLC name, rent it to yourself. It would be a commercial loan and not a personal loan. So it would need a big down payment, but it would have better tax benefits on the back end. Now, Icy is a regular here on the channel, so I'm hoping that Icy sees this live stream. Icy, to the best of my understanding, like, again, I'm admitting I'm the junior on this. So if I'm wrong about this, please feel free to straighten me out. But I'm thinking that, if I bought a rental property, it wouldn't necessarily need to be a commercial loan unless the property was a 5-unit or higher. That is what I thought. Anything that's a 4-unit, a 4-plex or lower, I can get with a personal loan, not necessarily with a commercial loan. And I'm saying a personal loan that would require less of a down payment, as opposed to a commercial loan that will require 20%. If I'm wrong on that, Icy, please feel free to let me know about that. I understand everything else that you said in your comment, Icy, but that's the only thing I didn't quite understand about that. So straighten me out on that if you see this video. Amar 350Z says, have 2 companies. One owns the truck, one LLC owns the truck, and the second, a sole proprietor, leases it from the first company. Daily expenses, full fuel, if the highway. I can't understand this comment. On the second, and maintenance, registration on the first. Divide and conquer. I saw something similar to that on a webinar from an accountant. Sounds essentially to me like Amar is saying have 2 companies and split the tax liability. Something to that effect. And I would have write-offs with both companies. That's what it sounds like Amar is saying. Have 2 companies, you'll have write-offs with both companies. I'm trying to sort this out. And a good accountant or CPA would know, since the pile of money will be divided on two companies, the tax percentage will be low and you'll have two jobs and two incomes or something like that. So Anmar is saying have two companies, have one company that owns the truck and the second company that leases it from the first company, split the expenses for both companies. I would work for both companies. I would have income personally from both companies, and my tax bill would be lowered significantly because I'd be splitting everything in half. That's essentially what it sounds like Ammar is saying. Ammar, if you see this video, man, let me know. Dig into it a little bit more for me if you would. Melvin Hunt says, hey, bro, looking at your taxes, do you account for retirement and or health insurance that can lower your tax liability? Yes, I do. Melvin Hunt, I do factor in health insurance and retirement. Yes. And yeah, it would be wise to consult a CPA to help guide you safe on your taxes. I tell you what, man, even more so than a CPA, I need a business consultation, because I got all kinds of questions, man, on my business right now. I mean, I got all kinds of questions, not just on trucking, but on other things that I'm doing as well, other sources of income that I have as well. Like forming another LLC, the income that I'm generating from here on YouTube. Hey, JD, what's going on, man? I'm just here shooting the breeze a little bit today, JD. I had a few minutes to make a video, and so I'm just kind of doing a follow-up to my last video that I did. But yeah, as a business owner, I got a lot of questions, and I need a CPA, but I also need business consultation. And a CPA can help me know how to lower my tax bill, but I need strategic advice. I need strategic advice. I need to speak to a business. I need business consultation. Anybody you guys out there got business consultation people that maybe you can point me in the direction of. Preacher is telling me something that I can use. Preacher says you can still become an S Corp. I filed mine late. The IRS just went back to my original start date. Then pay yourself a salary. You will need a payroll company for this. They cost $40 to $120 a month. So I was letting you guys know on that first video. Any CPAs here got an email? As if any are here, JD. I was letting you guys know that in that first video that I wasn't sure if I could still go back and file as an S Corp. When you first start an LLC, from the first you have the first 75 days to elect to be taxed as an S Corp. And then the rules change after the first 75 days. And I was saying in that first video that I wasn't really sure whether I could go back at the end of the year and then elect to be filed taxed as an S Corp. If I elect to go that way, like I told you guys earlier, I'm not even sure if filing my taxes as an S Corp, I haven't run the numbers on it to actually see if I'm going to come out cheaper. From the best of my knowledge, with doing an S Corp, one thing is you're going to file 2 returns as opposed to 1. You're going to have to pay payroll. You have to pay a payroll service company. $120 a month for payroll is about almost $1,500 a year. So, those little things add back up, right? You think you're saving money by filing through an S Corp, and once you pay the money to file a second tax return and you add in the cost to the cost of a payroll service provider and any other cost that having an S Corp would come with, you might be like, shoot, I ain't really saved myself that much money. So it's not just cut and dry that filing your taxes through an S Corp will save you money as a business owner, okay? But Preacher, I appreciate that. I appreciate you letting me know that I can go back at the end of the year and elect to be taxed as an S Corp. All Miles Matter said something really, really good. He said, I learned very early in business, you have 2 choices, and this is really good. You guys that are here right now, this is a nugget that All Miles Matter is dropping. I learned very early in business, you have 2 choices at the end of the year. This is as a business owner. Pay taxes or invest that money in your business. You have 2 choices, and I've come to this conclusion myself. Pay taxes, either if you save money, you pay taxes on that money. So your only other option is to reinvest that money. So you either pay taxes or you reinvest that money. This is why I would say that anybody that wants to become an entrepreneur may need to change. This is one reason why I would say they may need to change their mindset towards money, right? As employees, the popular dogma is to save your money. But what nobody tells you is that when you save your money, especially as a business owner, you're taxed for it. The only way you're not, the rich don't save their money, they save it, but my they spend their profits on their business. So there's nothing there to tax. But when they spend their money, their profits on their business, they create more income. So, we've probably heard people say before, it's about cash flow. It's about cash flow, right? That is what's most important. JD says invest into the trucking business, or can it be elsewhere? It can be anywhere. Anywhere you invest money at as a business owner, if it's an investment, if you're investing in something to make money, then you're not gonna you don't get taxed on that money. So it's just like some people would choose to save money and invest it back in their trucking business if they're trying to grow their trucking business. But some people would elect to save money and invest that money in real estate. That is one of the things that I want to get into. Obviously, you want to make sure your primary business is stable before you start to reinvest in other places. But wherever you invest your money, you're not paying taxes on that money. Whereas if you just try to save it and put it away, typically, generally speaking, you're gonna pay taxes on that money. So it's like I need to be using my money to create more money. That's how I mitigate. That's how I lower my tax bill as a business owner, right? Somebody left a comment just now. Let me see here. Natty Dreadlocks, my man, says max out your 401k program, both your side and the company match side. That's good for at least 5k to 10k worth of deferred taxes. Okay, I got you. I don't really know much about 401ks, Natty Dreadlocks, because that's simply because I'm just on the self-employed side of things. So I have a retirement account, obviously, that I wanna max out, but I'm not really sure about the 401k stuff. I know like 401ks got they have stipulations on them though, right? Like this, you can't take the money out at a certain time, or like if you change jobs, stuff like that, like you got to watch out for. But I mean, hey, yeah, definitely, yeah. If you got a company that's matching you on 401k, definitely max that puppy out, 100%, 100%. JD Jam says that's one thing I want to do is real estate. Yeah, definitely. Let me get back to this here. Where did I do my phone? It's dark up in here, y'all. All right. All Miles Matter. That was a good comment. All Miles Matter says, I chose the latter, which is investing money back in his business. Banks really care about gross deposits. See, here's that comment again. Banks really care about gross deposits. Can your gross deposits cover everything? They could care less how much you actually make. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. What matters is how well you utilize those write-offs to benefit you in a personal capacity at the same time. So all miles matter. If you see this follow-up that I'm doing, again, I appreciate your comment, but I would like some more clarity on that, because there's been several people in the comments of the video that I'm going over that has said what you're saying, that the main thing that banks really care about is gross deposits. It's several people in these comments that have said that, but I'm unclear on how that works, because to the best of my knowledge, and again, I'm the junior in this, so if I'm wrong on this, all miles matter, please feel free to straighten me out. But to the best of my knowledge, the bank is not going to lend somebody money to buy a house. They're going to base that money that they're lending them on their income that they file taxes on. That's what I'm thinking. In other words, all miles matter says banks really care about gross deposits. So what if, and again, he's not the only one saying this, okay? But here's the question. What if as a business owner, I have a lot of gross deposits? I have gross deposits. But let's just say at the end of the year, let's just say I've obtained that money illegally. That's going out on a limb a bit, I know, but let's just say I've obtained those gross deposits that I'm getting in my account. I've obtained that money illegally, and for whatever reason, at the end of the year, I'm not gonna be filing taxes on that money. Or it seems like what All Miles Matter is saying. Here's another thing that your comment is making me think about. What if, as a business owner, I can have $1 million a year being deposited into my account throughout the year. right? But what if that money is gonna get eaten up by expenses? What if it's my daughter telling, hang on one second. Peace, love you, babe. Love you, honey. What if that money is gonna be eaten up by expenses? What if I'm not gonna be filing taxes on that money? Right now, I've got in one of my accounts, I have tax money. All of my tax money that I'm saving, I have it in one account. So if the bank was to look at that one account, and I've got more than one account, but if the bank was to look at that account, they can't base a mortgage based on the deposits or the amount of money that's in that account, because that money is already accounted for. But the bank don't necessarily know that money is already accounted for. So, was it all miles matter? So all miles matter, man. I'm a little bit unclear on that. And if you would, I would definitely love you to clear that up. Banks really care about gross deposits. Can your gross deposits cover everything? I mean, how does the bank know whether my gross deposits, like it would seem like it's too difficult for the bank to try to figure out whether my gross deposits could cover everything. I'm thinking that's the reason why they want a tax return, because they can easily look at your tax return and they can figure out based on how much you're paying taxes on whether you can handle this mortgage or not, or what size mortgage you can handle. Okay, so I'm a little bit unclear on that. All miles matter. Got a couple of comments. Let me see here. CNNgraphics.com. What's up, brother? Always good to see, live or not. Appreciate you being here, CNN Graphics. RN, how's it going? How's it going, RN? Dun & Bradstreet number matters too. Yes, I'm aware of that. CNN Graphics. Yes, I am aware of that. I don't have a Dun & Bradstreet yet. But now again, CNN Graphics. If I'm the junior on this. I'm the one that doesn't know. So if I'm incorrect on this, feel free to straighten me out. I can't necessarily buy my primary residence with my Dun & Bradstreet number, can I? I know that probably sounds like a dumb question. I hated to ask that on live. CNN Graphics says a bank can do both, especially if you have large depreciation. I got to dig into this more because several of you guys are telling me this. CNN Graphics says what matters for banks is also what is left in your statement at the end of each month. Makes sense. RN says a bank would want more than just a few months of bank statements. I'm thinking, RN, a bank would want 2 years of tax returns. I've spoken to a mortgage guy at Wells Fargo. That's what he told me that he would want from me. And I've also spoken to my bank, which is a bank here in town, Citizens and Farmers, and they've also told me that that's what they would need. They would need 2 years of tax returns. They're not telling me anything about being able to go off my gross deposits or being able to go off what's in my bank account, which is making me feel some kind of way, because I'm actually thinking in the back of my mind, maybe it's just that I ain't got my weight up enough yet. Maybe I just ain't got enough money in my bank account yet for them to come and say, yo, look, we can work with you on some financing based on what you got in your account. So it's kind of got me feeling like maybe I just ain't got enough in my account yet. I don't know. JD Jam, can you explain the Dun & Bradstreet? Your Dun & Bradstreet is your business credit, basically your business credit. It's just like your social security number for your business. So whenever you want to go to try to get credit in your business name, you're not going to use your social security number. You're going to use your Dun & Bradstreet. I believe that is how that works. JD Jam. RN, can you park your rig? Can you park your rig and trailer? What do you mean, RN? I'm not understanding your question. CNNgraphics.com. You can buy your home. You can buy your personal home under your business, CNN Graphics. Is that what you're telling me? RN says, yes, 2 years is standard. Yep, there are some loans that have options. You might want to talk to a mortgage lender. Yep, absolutely. That's what I mean when I say, like, I'm talking about this on YouTube, but I know that to really get the answers that I'm looking for, I need to be speaking to a professional. I do understand that. And like I said, I've already spoken to Citizens and Farmers Mortgage. That's who I bank with. And I've also spoken with a gentleman over at Wells Fargo Mortgage as well. And they ain't told me nothing about the stuff that you guys are telling me that they can go on on gross deposits. So again, maybe I just got to do a little bit more digging to figure that out. Obviously, they're not going to tell me about that if that's not a program that they offer. That makes total sense too. So all miles matter. Appreciate that comment. David Torres, what's going on, man? Vict, VICT says, well, you could do this: invest in a nice stock, cash out at 40K, then pay your taxes and get your down payment without having to earn more for making a high income. You could use your stocks as collateral to buy a home as well. I didn't know you could use stocks as collateral to buy a home. I didn't know that. But, you know, VICT, he threw that out there like it was easily. Well, you could do this. Just invest in a stock and cash out at 40K. Like he threw that out there like anybody can do that. Appreciate that comment, Vic. Then pay your taxes and get your down payment without having to earn more for making a higher income. I love the way he's thinking. He's basically saying, go and make the money. Go and make the money to pay your taxes and to come up with the down payment for this house that you want. That's essentially what he's saying. So I love that. I love that idea. Like, don't go into your savings to get what you need. Go and find the money from out there to get what you need. Another one, Michael Stallworth. Some lender go based on your money deposited in your banking account. May cost you a point in interest, but the deal can be done. Yo, if anybody sees this video that knows of a lender that could potentially be willing to do a loan based on deposits, please point me in the right direction. I'm gonna do my research on my end as well, but I'm seeing too many comments of people saying this for it not to be true. I ain't heard nothing about it from a lender, but I'm seeing too many of these comments for it to not be true. I love Shannon Thomas Trucking, her comment. She said, here's a simple solution. Just pay cash for your house. Like, duh. Like, I love it. John White, easy fix. Show them your deposits and it will show them your daily average balance. Since you are a business owner, there's so many people saying that it's like, it's got to be true, but it doesn't make sense to me based on my understanding that the bank would lend you money or lend anybody money for a mortgage based on their average balance, because that's not what you file in taxes on. So your average balance might be $1 million, but you might be spending 980,000 of it. So you might have, a high average daily balance, but at the end of the year, when all the smoke clear, you ain't made but 20 grand. But the bank wouldn't be able to sort that out just from looking at your deposits, or maybe they would. Again, I'm unclear on that. RN says, in essence, if your house is your yard, your business could buy it. Might not be the best long-term strategy. In essence, if your house is your yard, your business could buy it. Oh, that's why you asked, do I park my truck in my yard? That's why you asked that question. Can you park your rig and trailer? Is that why you asked? No, that's RN that asked that. I'm guessing that's why you sent that comment, RN. In essence, if your house is your yard, your business could buy it. Very interesting. Very interesting, RN. I appreciate that comment. Natty Dreadlocks. On a business loan, banks only care about regular deposits. And do you have any contracts? Well, this wasn't going to be a business. I wasn't looking at this as being a business loan, Natty Dreadlocks. I was looking at this as being a personal loan for a personal residence. Not necessarily saying that that's the best way, but that's what I was thinking. You know what I mean? That's just what I was thinking. This is going to be a personal loan for a personal residence, okay? But Natty Dreadlock says, on a business loan, banks only care about regular deposits. And do you have any contracts? On the personal side, banks are much more cautious. Of course, absolutely they are. And do you have any contracts? You mean, do I have any contracts with shippers? Is that what you're asking, Natty Dreadlocks? And if that's the question, then no, I do not. I would assume that those contracts would be worth something. That's why you're asking me that. Montana Trailer Trash. Glad to have you here, Mr. Marcus. Man, I hope that's y'all spell check. Y'all know my name is Maurice, right? Mr. Marcus, how are you? Good, sir. Glad I could catch your live stream today. Yeah, Montana, I'm just on here just doing a follow-up to my last video. I had a few minutes. I got to hop off in just a few. And I hadn't uploaded a video in a few days, so I wanted to upload a video. RN, yes, that's why I asked. Got you. It's interesting how like every like all of the little, I want to call it a loophole, but you don't even need to call it that. All the little loopholes or the way you need to word what you're doing is it's interesting how you can word it a different way. And it's like, yeah, you can do it. Whereas if you word it another way, it's like, nah, you can't do that. But yeah, your makes total sense. Makes total sense. RN, I appreciate that. RN says, I'd look for a house that you can use as a yard. Look for a small farm. Interesting. Montana Trailer Trash says, my bad, spell check. You ain't the only one that did it, Montana. You are not the only one that did it. I saw Marcus in the chat a couple of times, all right? Let me read through a couple of more of these comments. Yeah, maybe these guys, maybe some of these people are saying that the bank will go off of my deposits because they're thinking I'm going to be looking for a business loan. Maybe that's why they're saying that. Extreme Comfort says, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Welcome to America. 100%. And my cousin, Maniko Harris. Y'all ever see his name? I'm trying to get him on the channel, y'all. Do an interview with him, but that's my cousin. It's the last comment I'm reading down here. That's why business owners accumulate a lot of collateral. And the bank is really concerned about gross. And once you open a relationship with the bank, like me, I don't have to show 1099 anymore because I've been a business owner over 3 years dealing with the same bank. I bet you he ain't dealing with CNF. I bet you he ain't dealing with CNF, man. CNF is something else. All right, so boom, look, y'all. So I'm about to hop off unless you guys. It was a comment. Let me go back and address that comment and see if that first viewer is still here, JC, because I did say once I got done I was going to address your comment. JC, I don't know if you're still here or not, man, but you asked the question initially, not dealing with the subject matter of this video. It says, hey, buddy, I'm going to school next week. Should I train on automatic or manual? That's a preference for you, JC. If you train on an automatic and you get your CDL, you pass your test on an automatic, you're going to have a restriction on your CDL that says you can't drive a manual, which could potentially limit some of your opportunities in the future. So I mean, I would recommend that you test on a manual. But I mean, if you think you're gonna fail on a manual and that's gonna hold you up getting your CDL, like it's something that you got to weigh out. Do you think do you already have a job lined up after CDL school? And is the company that you planning on working with, do they have automatics? Like, is that already lined up? If that's already lined up, then, you know what I mean, go ahead and take it on the automatic. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that if you do test on an automatic, you're going to have a manual restriction, which could potentially limit some opportunity for you in the future. Potentially, not guaranteed though. Okay, so, but yeah, I would always recommend that a person gets the manual test on a manual. So other than that, man, I just wanted to do a little follow-up for that last video. If any of the people's comments that I asked about see this live stream right here, hey, leave. I want you to give me a little bit of a further explanation of your comment. If I mentioned it on this video, leave it down in the comments of this video that you're looking at right now. And that's pretty much it, man. I'll see you guys on the next video. Probably be the next day or two. And other than that, if you're here and you haven't subscribed to the channel, which hopefully you have already, but if you haven't, be sure to subscribe. And before you guys click off, do me a favor and click that like button. This is the Helpful Chugger. Hope you guys like the background. I've been messing around with the background a little bit. Hope y'all like the blue. Not a big deal. We out, man. I got to roll out. I got work to do. It's Sunday. I got to get ready for the week. I got to wash my truck. I got to adjust my brakes. I got to clean out the inside of my truck. I got to grease my fifth wheel. I got to get some stuff ready for the week. So I'll see you guys. Appreciate y'all for hanging around.